again. Just going ahead and making another update video on how to install the latest version of Appium 1.15, which is used to automate the latest version of iOS 13.1.2 that released not too long ago. In this example, we'll be using Xcode version 11.1, and I've updated my Mac to macOS Catalina 10.5. As always, I'm starting from a freshly restored Mac, so I've wiped the hard drive, reinstalled the latest OS, and we're gonna start off from a clean state. So the only thing I did pre-install is Xcode, because it does take some time to install, and I didn't want to take up you guys' time. So I do already have Xcode installed, which is step 1 and 2. So we'll go ahead and start from step 3 here. So alright, so let's go ahead and launch Xcode. The first step would be to add your iOS developer account. So we'll go into the Xcode preferences here. Under accounts, go ahead and add mines. Okay, looks good. Once you've added your development account, let's see. We'll go ahead and attach a iOS device. These instructions are written for an iPad, but I don't have my iPad with me, so we'll be using a iPhone XS on the latest iOS 13.1.2. But if you have an iPad or any iOS device running iOS 13, this should work for you. So we'll go ahead and go into the Xcode window, device and simulators. So let's go ahead and do that. So looks like it does recognize her device here. Sometimes when you connect your device, Xcode will start installing some necessary components, in which case I do not see it installing anything on this device. So it's either already done, or it might have installed it previously when I had this phone connected. So that's fine. But just an FYI, you want to make sure Xcode finishes the install of any necessary components on this screen. So in this case, we do want to make sure we enable the UI automation option, and to do that, I can't demonstrate it here, but you want to go into your settings on your iOS device, scroll all the way down to the developer option. The developer option will be enabled if you had launched Xcode and Xcode had completed installing its necessary components on this screen. So if you don't see anything downloading here, you should have the developer option under your settings. Under the developer options, you will want to enable the UI automation. So I did that just now. Then we should be set. So I'll go ahead and close Xcode for now. Alright, so we'll start here on step 6. I want to run a Java version. So to do that, I want to go ahead and launch a terminal session. Okay, type that in here. There is no Java, so it'll prompt you that you're missing, and to install the JDK, you want to click the More Info. It'll take you directly to the website. You want to download the latest version of JDK for Mac OS. In this case, we want to download the .dmg file. Sorry, got some personal stuff I was doing on this PC. Alright, so let's go ahead and installing there, downloading. If you watch my other videos or follow my other videos for Appium 1.13 and prior, I think 1.12 as well, the steps are just about exactly the same. The paths to the WebDriver agent are different in this latest version of Appium on 1.15, but outside of that, there isn't too many changes in the instructions, so um, it should be very similar to the steps you followed previously if you've watched any of my previous videos. So download is complete. Go ahead and install the JDK. And just so you guys know, this is a MacBook Pro 13-inch early 2015 model. Obviously, from the previous Mac OS, Mojave does not, Appium, or my apologies, Xcode, they stopped supporting that. Those earlier Macs, probably 2011 or prior. Um, so if you have a older Mac, this step won't work for you. The install should be fairly just about the same, but since it doesn't support the latest version of Xcode, you won't be able to run Appium against any of the later iOSs, so iOS 12 or this new iOS 13. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so the Java install completed. I'm going to go ahead and move that to the trash. Alright, looks good. I'll rerun that Java minus version, and everything looks good here. We're getting a Java version back. So now we can continue with our steps. Alright, so we've already completed both step 6 and step 7. So we're going to start on step 8 here. And step 8 is fairly simple. Just run each command line by line, and wait till it finishes. It may prompt you for password in the middle of a few of these. So looks like my battery is getting low. Let me just go ahead and plug this in. Alright, it's installed. Press any key. Alright, looks good. Installation was successful there. I'm going to do a quick update on Brew. Alright, and we'll go down this list. So we're running line steps 8E, preparing to run line 8F. Alright. The rest of these should run fairly quickly. final command for step 8. Okay, we'll go ahead and let that finish. So going into step 9, we want to go to appium.io and download the latest version of Appium. So appium.io, we want to download Appium, and the latest version is 1.15. So we're going to download the DMG file. Looks like all our commands have completed. So once we finish downloading, we'll be on step 10. Alright, let's go ahead and install Appium. Alright, once we're done, we're on step 11 here, so we're going to go ahead and launch Appium. Make sure it launches successfully. Now this step, for some reason it's common for Appium to launch and there may be an error, not this error, so this is fine, this is expected, saying that the data is corrupt or the installation is corrupt. For some reason, I've seen it come up a few times. What I would say is if you do get that, go ahead and uninstall Appium by dragging the Appium icon under applications into the trash and deleting it. And what I would do is re-download the file directly from appium.io again and then try to install it one more time. That 99% of the time that resolves the issue. Let's see here, this is new. Okay, there you go. Let's see if it launches. There you go. So sometimes you have to right click on it and then click open to kind of bypass the built-in max security. But what we're looking for is this screen right here. So once you see this screen, then you're good. We'll go ahead and close that. We'll delete the installation file from the downloads folder, and we'll also eject this here. There you go. That should do it. Go ahead and empty the trash. Okay, we're back to a clean state. All right, so we've launched Appium, verified launched this successfully. We'll close Appium. So we'll go ahead and start on step 13. We'll launch Xcode again. And this is the part that differs. This is the correct path for the WebDriver agent in the new Appium 1.15. So if you're coming from Appium 1.13 and you're trying to find the correct WebDriver agent, this is the path. And as always, these instructions will be located in the description section of this video. And it's open to the public, so anybody should be able to access it. So once we launch Xcode, we're going to go ahead and do a Command Shift G to go to the path, paste the path there. Alright, and we're going to open this project. Okay, once we open the WebDriver agent project, go ahead and double click on WebDriver agent on the top left. We are going to see a couple different items here. WebDriver agent library for tvOS, the runner, and runner for tvOS. We're not really concerned about the tvOS unless you're doing anything with the Apple TV app. So in this case, I'm only going to be signing and creating provisioning profiles for the WebDriver agent library and runner. So under the library, if I hit signing and capabilities, automatically manage signing, we want to make sure that is checked, and we want to select our development team, which is the Apple account, the Apple developer account that we added in the first or second step of this video. So once we select a team, it should automatically generate a certificate, provisioning profile, and you should not see any errors underneath here. So we want to do the same with the runner. We want, if you do get an error, go ahead and register a device or resolve the error. It might ask you to revoke a previous certificate that was on the device, and that's fine. We just want to get to a state where we have the automatically managed signing checked and there are no errors underneath. So these two look good. Let's go back to our instructions here. So what we just did there is actually steps 15 through 25. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and exit Xcode now. And we're going to go back to our terminal session and run these commands. So let's go ahead and run this here. Right. And just an FYI, guys, if you're upgrading from Appium 1.13 or prior to 1.15, what you want to do for most of these steps, you can probably skip them, as you've already done it if 1.13 or 1.12 was working for you prior. What you're going to want to do is make sure you load the correct WebDriver agent project, which is this pathing right here, 14A, and then perform steps 15 through 25, which is the steps we did to sign the WebDriver agent, runner, and lib. And once you make sure, if those are already signed still, I would uncheck the automatically managed signing and re-sign them again, just to make sure there isn't any issues that come up or errors that appear when you do that. And then you will have to rerun steps 26 through 27 again, all the way up to 28. So using the correct pathing. So I've already updated these particular instructions um, to reference the correct pathing to the WebDriver agent. So if you run steps 26 through 28 again, that should resolve most of your issues, if not all your issues, when upgrading from Appium, from an older version of Appium to 1.15. And then you can pretty much start from 29 all the way down after that, and everything should work fine for you. So, and that's if you're upgrading. So we're still on 27D. Once it completes here, we'll run 27E. So we're running the Appium Doctor. Okay, so that's complete. And what the key things we're looking for is this text right here. Diagnostics for necessary dependencies completed. No fix needed. And we just want to make sure there are no errors or no X's displayed, such as these icons here, for anything above this line. So if you notice here, everything here is green. That means you have the very minimum dependencies needed just to run Appium. I haven't came across a situation where I needed to install any of these other dependencies, these optional dependencies, but you might. So those you'll have to kind of troubleshoot manually. So, all right, so we've already run the Appium Doctor, so we're gonna go ahead and kill our terminal session. Gonna launch Appium. And start the server. Okay, and then once we start the server, we will start the inspector. And here on the inspector, this is where we'll define all our capabilities. So step 32 here. So we'll grab the UDID. Good way to find the UDID of your specific device is to launch Xcode itself. Go into the window device and simulators. It should show your device here, and then it will have a identifier number, which is this here. Looks like I didn't copy the whole thing. We'll just copy it piece by piece. Okay, so we get the UDID. Let's go ahead and close Xcode now. And the bundle ID that we're going to be testing. In this case, I will use the Safari bundle ID. And this might have changed, so I'm not sure if it works. Sometimes they do change the bundle IDs between the iOS versions. So we'll have to test that. Set the automation name to XCUI test. Platform name is OS platform version is we're on 13.1. We're actually on 13.1.2, but you only want to go one decimal. So 13.1 is fine. Device name. Call this our test device. Alright, we'll go ahead and save these settings. Save it as iPhone XS. Okay, and we will start the inspector. Take a look at the Appium logs here. If you, for some reason, are using a device where you already had the WebDriver agent runner installed on the device, go ahead and uninstall that, because that might cause issues as well. And then restart the inspector once you've uninstalled the WebDriver agent. This should take some time on the first run will always take the longest, and it should prompt me to enter my password a couple times during this step, so we'll see. Longer than normal. Let's just make sure we have bundle IDs correct. Oh, looks like we did throw an error here. Okay. Bundle IDs. Try to launch the camera here. See if we have any luck with that one. Check our Xcode one more time as well, just to be safe. those were the prompts that I was expecting. So maybe I should have just waited longer. Let's see if this works. There you go. Alright, so it looks like I did make a mistake. Let me go ahead and update my steps here. Alright, there you go. So, alright, looks good. So once the Appium inspector, so if you look on the logs here, my mistake, you'll see a response 200. Um, what you're looking for is this here. You want a WebDriver agent is ready to accept commands, success status, the iOS, the correct version number 3.1.2, 13.1.2. So this all looks good. And then once you get that, you should see the inspector here. So, and once you have the inspector, you're pretty much all set. You're ready to go. I have other videos documenting how to integrate Appium with Eclipse using TestNG. So feel free to watch that video as well if you're just getting your hands on automation. Maybe you're a manual tester just trying to convert over. So that's a very helpful resource as well to get you started. But other than that, apologize for that hiccup there. I don't think I had that issue before, but looks like that was a mistake on my part. I should have did this one more time before I start recording the video, but I think this is fine. So, and feel free to send me any questions. Like I said, I'll leave the link to this documentation um, on the video itself. Please like and subscribe. I do my best to try to publish videos for every version of Appium that gets released, or any version of iOS or Xcode that gets pushed along with it, or pushed separately. If I see it causing issues, um, I'll definitely try my best to make a video to document how to resolve those issues. So, as always, in this particular case, if you had a previous version of Appium or Xcode, you're running into issues and you can't get them resolved, I recommend go ahead and factory restoring your Mac using the Command R keys upon a reboot and wipe the hard drive, reinstall Mac OS. And at that point, you should be able to follow these steps exactly, and you should come to the same state that I'm in now. So, appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time.